DSPN, the Devlin Sports Podcast Network.
Round 3 of the Six Nations concluded this morning New Zealand time with France doing a number on Italy. It was a basketball score and a lopsided one at that, something like 73-24, 11 tries. Match of the round had to be England, just squeaking past Scotland. And Ireland doing enough to beat Wales. Our man from the Times Online, rugbypass.com is Chris Jones, who joins us again. Thank you, Chris.
Good to be with you. Yes, something very strange happened earlier today. Super Pacific Rugby broke out in the Six Nations, where somebody had passed Italy the defence book that you all use down there, the one where you don't actually tackle anybody.
Doesn't have a lot of pages.
11 tries followed.
That's it, yeah. Yeah, look, over the weekend, 75 points on average every game of Super Rugby and over 10 tries scored. So, as I've been saying, about as much defence as the NBA All-Star game. But let's go right back to the beginning. And Ireland against Wales. Look, a close scoreline. What do we read into that game and the performance of Ireland?
Ireland should be concerned because they didn't play particularly well. At 18 all, Wales looked like they had a momentum. And then we had a situation within the game which was really important where Gary Ringrose gets sent off for an out-of-control head contact tackle. Straight red. It had to be a straight red. But no, what do we get? A referral. And it's deemed a 20-minute one. Who comes on? Bundy Aki, who then proceeds to wrestle every single Welsh player and a few of the crowd into submission. And they get the win that they allow them to win their triple crown and puts them on course still for the Grand Slam. But this is not an Ireland team firing on all cylinders. Is it because Andy Farrell's not there? I'm not so sure about that. I just think that they're being worked out by teams who pick a couple of back row forwards to scavenge, slow down their ball. If you could somehow get Gibson Park off the pitch, I think they would be in real trouble. He's been absolutely fantastic for them and has given them whatever they needed in terms of, at various points, some impetus. It's all down to him. If he was off the pitch, I think they would be even more suspect going to this game against France, which, of course, is the next round of the Six Nations and will decide the title.
Just that red card. So this is the first time that we've seen it. This is a brand new rule, not a new rule, but a Southern Hemisphere rule that that they have adopted. Has it worked, and was it the right thing to do?
This is the first one, and we've had lots of yellow card referral to the bunker. Does it get upgraded? But this, when you saw the slow motion, was just as bad as you saw it in live. He comes flying in, makes head contact with the Welsh player. It's a red, but they then deemed it a red under the new World Rugby system
guidelines,
and so they only get 20 minutes because, of course, we want to make this game a spectacle. The fact is, he should have been off the pitch. Ireland should have been down to 14, and that would have made an even better finish to what was. Wales have lost 15 matches in a row. Look, there's nothing to wave the flags about, but there was some pride there, some way of playing that actually looked like Welsh rugby. And boy, I wonder what Warren Gatland thought about that.
Well, how's this for a stat? That Wales have lost 15 games in a row. That's as many as Richie McCaw did in his whole 148 Test career for the All Blacks. Some stat, isn't it?
Yeah, he wasn't playing for Wales, so that he got away with it. Look, that is a fantastic. Of course, it's a fantastic. He played during a wonderful era of All Black rugby. This has been an absolutely pitiful era for Welsh rugby, quite honestly. And the way they were playing wasn't good either. And that's what got the crowd really against Gatland, I think, is the style of rugby. It wasn't how some of the Welsh regions were trying to play. And we saw, that he made this Sherrod, the guy who doesn't want the job, who's come over from Cardiff just to finish the Six Nations. He picked players that Gatland didn't pick, which are basically some guys playing very good rugby for Gloucester. And you know what? Wales played well. And it was simple as that. And I think, when Warren looks back on it, I think some of the selections he made at the start of this campaign really did hurt him.
England versus Scotland. Scotland ruined the fact that they scored 3 tries, couldn't convert any of them, and that last-minute miss meant that they ended up losing the match by 1 miserable point. Do England just take the win from that game, and is that all they can take from it?
Well, when you consider that England kicked the ball 36 times, it was actually amazing at some point. It did stay in a few people's hands. But the end of the match, involving a French referee, very new to all of this, he made, much to Finn Russell's anger, moved 2 yards further away from the post and nearer the touchline, saying that's where the ball went down. Well, if you look at the actual where it was scored, it's where Finn would have taken the kick from, and it was a really poor decision by the referee. It was even worse decision by the so-called man of the match, Duan van der Merwe, that he didn't at all try to run up the posts.
Yeah, I thought that at the time.
He had to come off his left foot, Marty. He had to come off his left foot and get as close. He's 6'5". Even if there's cover coming across, he's going to knock them out of the way. And that was a really poor decision by him, but not as bad as some of the decisions by the referee.
Let's look at France then. And again, what do we read into that apart from the fact that they were absolutely magnificent? They put a score on that the All Blacks, have done many times against Italy. And it does set it up, as you say, very nicely for what will be the decider in a couple of weeks' time.
The question before we get to France is, what on earth happened to Italy? This time last year, they had a penalty to beat France, and it came back off the post from Garbisi. Today, they scored 3 really good tries, and the defence went AWOL. It was a very strange performance. Look, against England, France couldn't hold on to the ball. They held on to the ball today, and some of the shape of the attack was very good, with Ramos playing at 10, and with this young guy Barre at the back. Their back three is basically 22 and under. There's a lot of young talent in this French side, and they got the forward impetus from the pack to allow them to weave the magical running lines we know they can. And Ireland will be looking at thinking we're going to have to kill the ball for as long as possible, because France coming to Dublin now with that sort of impetus, with Dupont playing really well after a sort of an average start, should really worry them. And you can't write France going off to Dublin. It'll be very difficult, obviously, because Ireland have a great record there. But honestly, this French side playing like that, everybody has to think that they can reach a level that very few can match.
So they are the form team going into this match, but it was always going to be the final, wasn't it? I don't know who does the scheduling, but that the 2 best teams, why don't they coordinate it so that they actually meet in the last round? How hard is it?
Well, you often think that there must be an English bias in this because, of course, the last game for England is Wales away, which would have been a fantastic finale if England were going for the championship. And there is a scenario in which they may well be. If France managed to win, then Ireland finished going away to Italy, France home to Scotland, England go down to Wales. That could be a weekend in which the teams will 3 of them could be going for the title. But the money would still be on Ireland to be the strongest of those contenders. But you do wonder about the way these things have worked out. It must be a very special computer. That's all I can say.
DSPN.